Hey guys, Lex here, back with a new mini review, a little rambling mini review. This is Astlibra. This is one of the gameplay trailers from Steam. So this is a game I would actually recommend. I think it's $20, but it's probably one of the greatest games I've played in the last several years. Um, I mean, like I say, recommend it, but also recommend probably not. Wait, why is that? That's not my mouse. Why is that there? Oh, whoever's recording it just had their mouse. Well, that's unfortunate. Um, yeah. So I'd recommend not looking up a whole lot. Oh, just right. Let's let it move. Yeah. Recommend not looking up too much about it. You don't want to spoil yourself on it. Let's start with the negatives first. Like I said, I do recommend it. It was released at the end of 2022, and oh, $25. I thought it was 20. Regardless, I got about 150 hours into it, so you could probably I restarted it about halfway through. So um, my recommendation, yeah, is it probably takes about, if you want 100%, it probably takes about 80 hours. So either way, $24 is pretty good deal. You can wait for it to go on sale if you really want. But like I said, I do recommend it. Let's start with the negatives first. Then we'll talk about some of the positives real fast, and then we'll move on. Hopefully, I didn't repeat myself too much during during this video, but we'll see. So negatives. I don't know if you could really tell from the screenshots. It has a interesting visual style. So the art was actually done, a lot of it by is it Shigetake? Am I pronouncing that right? He's one of the dudes that works at Vanillaware. So if it looks kind of like Odin Sphere, Muramasa, Dragon's Crown, that he did a lot of that artwork. He was also the guy that did I don't know if you guys remember the Habanero Tan, little vertical comic strips about it was some kind of ad for habanero coated chips or something. I don't know. It was adorable. But yeah, this was the guy that did that. So, but he did the art. This is actually a solo dev project aside from that. This is one guy over the course of about 15 years, went to his crappy office job, came home every day, cranked this out. And it's fantastic. So as far as negatives though, I like the graphics, but a lot of people I think would consider the graphics to be a negative. They do look kind of like clip art, which, I mean, like I said, I don't mind. I think it gives it a unique visual style, but the fact that the shading or whatever doesn't match, some people are, going to look at it and be negative about it. And a lot of them are copy-pasted assets. Like I said, it's fine, but whatever. If we're trying to find negatives, there really aren't that many. My personal negative would be, we'll let that kind of keep going. If I was going to say there was a negative, it would be that the story does not have a clear, where you end up at the end is in a very different place than where you start at the beginning. And I realize you can't really show, you potentially could. You could potentially drop hints about the nature of the true villain or true nature of the villain, whatever. Yeah, let's make this a little bigger. You certainly could, but it's fine. I think it's fine because the story gradually reveals more and more as you progress, and it's fine. It's like unfolding an onion. It's like peeling an onion. It's like there's more layers the deeper you go. Like I said, minor gripes. So I guess one more negative would be that the game, on average, the game is average. It's just that for me, there are so many highs you know, the average, it's average, right, overall, but the highs are so unbelievably high. You know, it's like the game on average is maybe a 7, but the highs themselves on a scale of 10, the highs would be like a 20. So they're fantastic. There are points in the game where I was like, yeah, pure liquid joy. Yeah. Okay, so positives. Oh, I guess who I would recommend this to would be JRPG fans. This narrative is fantastic. Also, if you like side-scrolling action RPGs, that's what this game is. So I'd recommend this to those people as well, and also maybe even people that enjoy fighting games. It's there is a combo system that is so, it's really fascinating. This game is really fascinating. I could probably talk about this for an hour. The especially on easier difficulties, the combat, you could chain things to, oh, is it not, okay, whatever. You could chain moves together and basically become a whirlwind of destruction as you go across the screen. That's on easier difficulties. On harder difficulties, you're basically going to get one shot, and so if you try to do that, you will get instantly killed, and so you have to play more defensively. So, you know, it's almost like a different game on the harder difficulties versus the easier difficulties. I guess another negative would be that it is grindy. Normally, I don't mind, but when I got to the very end of the game and I just wanted to finish, the grind required for that was, normally it's like you get to a new area and there's grind that's required because the enemies are way more powerful. It's like a step, you know? Instead of a cliff, every new area is like its own little step, little mini cliff, if you will. And so, get to a new area, you have to grind. It's not really a problem because by doing the grinding, you're getting all the weapons and stuff. You're getting new weapons, new armor, all that stuff, you know. But then I got to the end, and I got to the last dungeon, and I'm just like, I just wanna finish the game, you know. And you're requiring even more of a grind. Like I said, this is going to be a rambling little mini review, but so that would be another negative. On the plus side, though, this game, normally JRPGs, at least for me, they lose steam about 2/3 of the way through. You know, all the gameplay stuff, you know, all your main gameplay features have been unlocked anywhere from a third to a halfway through the game, right? So then you get to the 2/3 mark, and the main quest kind of peters out, and they're like, go do all these side quests so you could prepare for the final area, and then it doesn't really pick up until about the 90% mark. So you have about a third of the game right in the middle that just generally sucks. In this, they are introducing new gameplay elements. Even like you get to the final dungeon and they're still introducing new gameplay things. It is wild. It is the only game I can think of that has ever done that. And it feels like I'm playing the game and I'm like, oh, this game did that and this game did that. It's like it's picking and choosing from all these different games of, you know, all kinds of stuff. It's wild. It's even if I didn't think, I like the art. That's why I got it. I got it for the art. But even if I didn't think the art was good or the story was good, and the story is freaking fantastic, by the way. Even if I didn't think those were the case, I would say maybe play this game just for the gameplay alone because of it. It's always introducing new stuff, which is it's just fantastic. Now, as for the story, I'm not going to really tell you guys much about it. Like I said, I'd recommend not looking into it. Also, music, fantastic. There's a music room in the game, and there's like 100 songs, something like that. But it's wonderful. They're all wonderful. And yeah, I don't think I mentioned this game was also a bullet hell, or it could be, it can be, which makes, yeah, the higher difficulties. There's 6 of them. I only did the 4th one, which is where you unlock one of the achievements. So if you're going for 100%, you have to play on difficult, which is the 4th difficulty, because there's one achievement tied to that. All the rest you can't miss. But the game is, it basically follows this dude who is, so he, I think you saw it in one of the little videos. He and his childhood girlfriend, whatever, their village gets attacked by demons, so they're running away, and then you see a giant dragon come in. And just as they're about to get eaten, that's basically where the main character's memory stops. He wakes up. This is when he's a boy. He's like 8 or 10, presumably. So he's a boy. He wakes up in a cabin with a bird. The girl is nowhere around. The bird can talk. The bird has also lost its memory. And so the question is, who's the bird? Where's the girl? What happened? How did they get there? You know what I mean? Like, who saved them? And there's nobody around. So they basically set off in search of the girl because he's obsessed or whatever. I mean, he's trying to find his childhood sweetheart, right? So he sets off to look for her, or at least figure out what happened, and ends up walking, because they're out in the middle of nowhere. He ends up walking for 8 years until he finds human civilization, and that's basically where the story starts. And it's fantastic. Like I said, if you like any JRPG, I mean, I was getting all sorts of old school JRPG vibes. I mean, we're talking like Super Nintendo era, the Final Fantasies. It's very anime, right? That's the thing. This game is very anime. Lots of tropes. You know, and when I say it's kind of mid or average, that's kind of what I mean. It's, you know, if you've watched a lot of anime, if you like anime, I'd recommend it as well. If you watched a lot of anime, you know how they all kind of do the same stuff after a while? That's kind of what happens a lot of the time. It's like, yep, I've seen that. Oh, the brash, this character is this and that character is that, except I think they all actually get development. You know, they all get development, which is fantastic. It's like, it's not a spoiler, but you think they're the trope, and sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't, but they all get some sort of additional character development, which is nice. It felt really epic. It made me feel, man, I kind of like I felt, because it spans such, the adventure is like so long. It kind of made me feel like I felt when I finished reading Stranger in a Strange Land, or is it Strange World? The Heinlein book, kind of like that, or like the His Dark Materials trilogy, right? The Golden Compass and the 2 other books. Kind of like when you read something or watch something, and you just kind of have to sit there afterwards because you're like, wow, I'm tired, like mentally exhausted from going through that. You know, you're like, that was an adventure. I feel worn out, and all I did was sit here. You know, like that's how I feel. Like, this is something. This story, there is so much. You could probably make several seasons of a TV show out of it, or an anime. Yeah, it's really great though. Like I said, so in summary, I suppose. Oh, don't play the demo. Do not play the demo. I know there is a demo. Don't do it. Don't play it. Also, when you first start the game, you start a new game and it's like, do you want to play the demo? This shows some of the features and blah blah blah. Don't do that either. It makes it sound like it's a tutorial. It's not. If anything, it'll just ruin some of the surprises for you. It's in a... I don't know when that was released, because the stuff in it doesn't happen in the full game. So, I mean, well, that's what happens, right? They usually do the demo somewhere in the middle of development. So, but yeah, this is Astlibra Revision, because Astlibra was a free game, and then the revision gives you... I don't know if it gives you better music, but the artwork has been redone. There was a better translation, I believe. I think there was a line that was removed, that was censored, about, you know, one of the girls being like, "If you don't wake up, I'll stuff my used underwear in your mouth," or something like that. Like, that was removed, which is unfortunate. But I think it was replaced with a worse line, to be honest. But if that's the one I'm thinking of, even though it's more tame, I think it's a worse fetish. But yeah, that's, like I said, recommend it to fans of anime, of JRPGs, maybe of fighting games. It feels, if you're a fan of Vanillaware games, right, it feels a lot like the PS2 Odin Sphere, not the PS3, where they sort of fixed the combo system and made it flow way better. This still does feel kind of clunky, but you get used to it. And like I said, especially on the harder difficulties, you're not wanting to chain your attacks together anyway, because that's how you get killed immediately. Yeah, I'd actually kind of be interested to see a impossible run, because I suspect, I mean, you basically have to do it without getting hit, because I think in impossible, every attack will one-shot you. So, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It draws from so many different things, and like I say, I'd recommend going into it as blind as possible, not even knowing about the combat systems, because, you know, I was playing and I'm like, oh, it has this, that's cool. It has this, that's awesome. But yeah, so yeah. But all right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for your time and attention. Really do appreciate it. Really hope you guys enjoyed these videos. I hope you enjoy these rambling mini reviews. I'm trying to do a bunch of them for games that I've played that I don't play for the channel. Although this one, I think is so good, I'm going to play it for the channel. And I'd recommend playing it, though, instead of... I mean, if you don't have time, because like I said, it took me about 150 hours. But I restarted about the 70-hour mark, so... yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Hope to see you guys next time. And until then, guys, take care.